ended the week off by hitting my goal of 1% a week. I ended up gaining 1.59%, which equates to $164.31. I took 5 trades, of which 4 were winners, and the one loss that I had, I was able to cut losses rather quickly, which ended up saving me some money. Overall, we could have ended up making a lot more, but on one of the trades, just the timing was really unfortunate and we missed out on a lot of profit. However, I'm not complaining because any amount of gain is better than a loss. So that's pretty much it for the intro. Now I'm going to go ahead and get right into explaining all the trades I ended up taking. So the first trade we ended up taking this week was on Tuesday, and it was on Amazon. So you guys can see Amazon has been going up the whole week. It's up $80 or 2.58%. We definitely missed out on some profit on this one. We sold a little bit too early, but nonetheless, it was still a $102 win, if I recall correctly. Let's go ahead and look at the actual trade. We can see that on November 23rd, I purchased 3 shares of Amazon at a price of $3,095, and then one day later in the morning, we sold them at $3,129. So we were able to profit $102 on that trade in just one day. Well, basically it was overnight because we bought towards the end of the day and we sold early next morning. Had we held on till the end of the week, you can see that we would have profited a lot more because Amazon just kept on going higher and higher. Ended off the week at $3,196. So we definitely left some profit on the table, but I'm not complaining. Like I said, $100 win is better than any amount of loss. So the next trade that I ended up taking was on Apple, and this was a continuation of what has been almost 2 weeks now, I believe, that I've been doing this trade. And this was the trade where I just had an unfortunate timing, and that cost me. I didn't end up losing on this trade, but it definitely cost me some profit. And what you guys will see was that Amazon for the overall week is down about 73 cents or 0.62%, and on Monday when it opened right around where it had closed last Friday, so right around $117 and 30-ish cents. And my idea was to go in and sell the 118 or maybe 119 call option and turn it into a covered call, because as you guys can see, I have 100 shares. But I waited a little bit because we go ahead and look at the overall SPY and the Dow Jones. They were up. They started just gapping up ever since Monday. So overall, on this past Monday, that I don't remember the exact date, but this past Monday, the futures ended up going into pre-market. They were gapping up. I remember the Dow Jones was up around 400 points, and so my initial thoughts were, okay, Apple's kind of lagging behind a little bit. Maybe once market opens, we can see Apple sort of move in the direction that the Dow Jones was moving, and that was my initial thoughts. So basically, because the Dow Jones is so much like tech heavy, I thought that Apple was just going to follow the momentum. However, that did not end up happening. So you guys can see once market opened on Monday, Apple started gapping down, and then it just continued to gap down all the way up until Tuesday. It went as low as I know for a fact it went there we go, it went as low as $112.88. And so at this point, I was just kind of giving up on the thought that Apple was going to go upwards and trend in the same direction that the SPY and the Dow Jones was moving. So I ended up just selling the $117 covered call and got a lousy premium of $20. Let me go ahead and check over here. $21. And so basically that's pretty much all we gained on this trade, which just gained $21. We missed out. If we would have sold just Monday morning and at the market open, I think the option prices were trading roughly around $100 to $90. But it just did not work out as I had planned. But the unfortunate timing was that if we had waited one more day, as you can see that after Tuesday, Apple sort of just turned around and turned on the afterburners and finally started moving in the direction of the SPY and Dow Jones, and just gapped up all the losses that it had occurred in the previous days, jumped all the way as high as like 116 and 33, 116.50 cents. So we would have sold the option right there. We would have been able to at least get somewhere around $70 to $80. Maybe not what we had planned, because I was planning on hopefully getting somewhere in the $100 to $150 range, but $70 would have still been better than $20. But nonetheless, we still ended up profiting the $20, and we still got to keep the 100 shares. So hopefully going into next week, Apple can somewhat maintain this price range, and we should be able to get somewhere between $50 and $150 depending on what Apple opens up on Monday. But nonetheless, I'm fairly confident in this position. We're currently down on these shares about $89, but remember, we've been selling covered calls for around 2 weeks now, so our actual cost basis is close to $116 flat. But that's pretty much it for this trade. Now let's move on to the next trade. The next two trades I ended up taking on Tesla, and one of them was a loss and the other one was a win. The loss ended up being a short position, which I ended up taking because, as you guys can see, Tesla has just been going insane, and at this point, I'm starting to think that Tesla is really just a sort of cult stock where people just randomly buy without knowing what it is that they're buying. And part of the reason why I think that is because they just had a recall on some of the Tesla cars, and for some reason Tesla still shot up, even though recalls are bad because it means that something was wrong with the car. But nonetheless, I learned my lesson. I tried taking a put debit spread. Let's see, put debit spread. We opened it up for, I want to say, $340. So what we had, so we ended up buying the 520 puts and selling the 515 puts. We ended up selling, I believe, the was it the same day? No, it was actually the next day. Tesla, we ended up selling the next day because the price movement was just not going in my favor. It was sort of just staying in this range, and then it started breaking out more. Then it retraced back a little. So, I ended up saying, this is probably not going to end well. Let me just take the loss and move on to a different trade, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. Take an $18 loss on November 25th, but this trade would have actually gone worse if we would have held on, because as you guys can see, Tesla continued to shoot up. It reached a high of, I think it reached all the way up to 598, if I believe. Let me check. Yeah, 552-week high at $598.78. So I did a good job on cutting losses fairly quickly here. And the second trade that I ended up doing on Tesla was actually the complete opposite trade. I actually betted that Tesla was going to go higher. And so what I ended up doing was, on this past Friday, so 1 day ago, Tesla was shooting all the way up to close to $600. As you guys saw, it reached a high of 598. And then all of a sudden, it had this really quick pullback back down to the 580 area. I know it dipped down below 590, and so I saw that as a good opportunity to sort of get into a quick scalp trade, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. We bought, I believe it was just one call option of the 600 strike for a limit price of $22.45, and we ended up selling it within, I think it was within 5 minutes. We sold it at $23.10, so a quick $70 gain within a couple of minutes. And then just going on for like the foreseeable future, I think Tesla has gone up so much that at this point it's not really a matter of if it's going to go down. I think it's more of when is it going to drop. And so I'm going to keep an eye on it and hopefully try to position myself to be able to profit from this big drop, because as you guys can see, Tesla has been shooting up a lot, and there's not really been any news to sort of I guess how would I say this, to sort of provide significant value of this much within this past month. There hasn't been any big news. So I think Tesla is definitely due for a reversal, and it's going to be a big one. You know, I think it has the possibility of dropping all the way back to below $500, but we're just going to have to wait and see. The last trade that I ended up taking was on ZNGA, and this was sort of a last minute trade. You know, I wasn't planning on taking this trade, but because the way it was positioning itself, I saw it as a relatively easy opportunity to make some quick gains. And so what we ended up doing was on Thursday at the end of sort of closer to the end of the trading day, we ended up buying 700 shares of ZNGA at $7.95. I believe $7.95. And so what we ended up doing was selling the covered call at $8, and we received a total premium of $28 on this one, and the shares ended up getting assigned because, as you guys can see, ZNGA ended up at $8.18, and the assignment gave us a total profit of $35 plus the $28 that we received from selling the covered calls. So overall, in the matter of just a couple hours, really, because like I said, I ended up purchasing these towards the end of the trading day on Thursday, and then Friday was a shortened trading day. So like I said, within a couple hours, we ended up making $63. We definitely left some profit on the table, considering that ZNGA closed at $8.18 and we sold the shares at $8. But nonetheless, you know, a win's a win. And so overall, these were the trades that allowed me to end the week off with that 1% goal. But that's pretty much it for this week. Like I said, I'm still waiting for the dividends of Wells Fargo, and I believe they come in next week on Tuesday because they come in December 1st. So I'll make an update on that next video. But that's pretty much it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.